Okay, peace. So back again. So what's the political scheme behind the misclassification of a people? The political scheme is that the individual or the entity who is subject to the misclassification will not be able to, one, self-identify with who they are and their lineage, their parentage, their culture, and they won't have a true national identity. Two, they won't be able to associate themselves to the land or make subscriptions to a proper historical relationship to the land. So three, that means that you acquiesce, meaning that you, by your way of being quiet or by default, because of the misinformation and your perversion of information that you've been subject to, you acquiesce out of making a proper political claim to an estate. Your estate is the land that they call America, which is another misnomer. Just like Negro, Black, and Colored, and African, and all these other terms are misnomers. The indigenous name was once called Al-Marak, or what we call a Mexum. Like you hear the word Mexico inside of it. So here it is that you got another group of people who call themselves Mexicans who have claimed the birthright. So what you got going on is you have a lot of nationalities who are stealing the birthrights and making subscriptions to your claims. How many people been in a community and we may see people like, let's say, Protestants or Mormons walking throughout the streets, and they want to convert you into their philosophy, ideology, or their concepts of what they think religion is. And then you ask them a question. Well, where's the term Mormon come from? And how old is that word? And how come you identifying yourself as this term? Because you find out that that's a term that's been stolen. Once again, it's birthright theft. And this is a book that I recommend that people get. And you might want to read it. It's called Dogs of God. It's an excellent, excellent book. It's called Dogs of God, Columbus, the Inquisition, and the Defeat of the Moors. This is a book that I'm reading. I paid $1 for it. Ordered it off Amazon. Hardback cover. You want to read this because it got a lot of source historical reference prior to 1492 and the Inquisition of Europeans before they came over here, and what was going on in Spain and the Americas, what was going on Africa, what was going on most of these Caribbean islands. And you need to understand that there's been a Renaissance era going on where these Europeans are so-called going through a rebirth stage where they are reawakening, and what's going on is they're attempting to make claims to the land. So they're going to make claims to the land. They're going to make sure that they misclassify the people. This is why they fear our people. This is why. It's not racism. Again, it's identity theft and identity fraud. They fear you because you are the heir apparent to this land, and they fear the day that you will wake up and you will reclaim your national historical political identity and be able to unify. So this is the reason for the extremities that we experience in the media, the newspaper, in school, the miseducation, for the constant European ideology constantly being thrown in your face. I mean, we could sit and pretend and attempt to ignore it like it don't exist and say, oh, we making a feud or a claim with another group of people. It's not true. This is the facts. We can go through all over history and we'll see. I'm going to make another reference. 1884 and 1885, the Berlin Conference Act. You want to make subscriptions to that. Why? Because you see, when you have 14 European nations who aspired and came together with a conniving scheme to parlay the economical wealth out of Africa and distribute it amongst themselves and I don't want to say expatriate, yet they wanted to exclude the indigenous people, which was us, out of any benefits or reward, which is why they occupy the land now. So when we make subscriptions to any group of people who is foreign to this land, we say that they occupying and that they foreigners. So understand that you're dealing with foreign concept. Should you have adopted some form of philosophy or ideology, you go to their institutions and schools. I'm not saying that it's not beneficial. What I'm saying is that strongly you adopted a foreign concept and identity, and this is the reason why it's difficult for us to come together when it's not corruption. When it's corruption, you find that we can be very, very highly effective and successful and immoral. So we need to really reconsider our approach, reconsider how we identify ourselves, and recognize that we are doing business in surnames, which is why I changed my name. I used to go by, Williams, Stefan Williams, yet I changed that. Excuse me, let me not say I changed that. I corrected that because, once again, I'm not Italian. 2, I'm not nobody else's property. 3, I know that my family experienced servitude, and because of that, I had to make the correction. I'm not going to sit here and say, yeah, we went through genocide or so-called slavery all these years, and here it is that we still walk around with this colonist on our last name or our first name. It's not going to happen. Please. This is how we keep you from making a claim. So when you go in the courtroom, you come up underneath of there under what you call M-realm, which is property and law, and you come underneath for subject matter jurisdiction because you coming underneath there talking about, so my name is Jerome Smith or Jeremiah Wims, and the minute that you do that, you have to know that you are saying to the courts that I'm the property of somebody else. Again, read the Dred Scott decision. Read the Sundry Free Moors Act. Read House Joint Resolution 75. So I'm giving you a reference so that way you're not like, okay, that's just his feeling, his opinion, or his belief. No, I'm giving you facts, and that's just what it is. And automatically, when that happens and you're doing business transactions in foreign names, that means that you cannot make a proper claim. 2, you automatically come underneath for what you call, in law, the 1724 Black Christian Codes. And you might want to research that too. And should anybody be looking to get information on it, like I said, inbox, give me a call. I have book, I have literature, and you might want to read these things before you make an emotional assumption or feel as though that I'm attempting to attack something that you may believe or whatever. I'm here to destroy the false perception. I'm here to destroy the false belief. I'm here to enlighten you with love, enlighten you with peace, justice, truth, freedom, and liberty. Liberate your hearts and liberate your minds. That's what I'm here to do. And as a cousin, as a brother, as a father myself, I'm doing this with the intent and the idea of love. So keep love present, family. I know I said a lot, so give y'all some time to go back and do y'all research and understand what's going on. It's identity theft, birthright debts, to keep you from being able to make a proper claim and to keep you in the color game. This is not a crayon box. The world doesn't deal with crayons. Understand that it's a political scheme and a political agenda that's not operated by you. You didn't create this United States corporation. It's not yours. You're not a part of it. It's to benefit another group of people who cannot make claims. And when they cannot make claims, what they do, they build properties, they build bridges, they build all these different things so they can sit down and say, well, I got a claim to the land. Well, no, that's your property, but it's not the land. And you don't have a claim to the land. So when we really sit down and we really get serious, y'all going to say to yourselves then, that means that they're not the sovereign entity on this group because they're foreigners. Also reference the Immigration Act, 1870 Immigration Act, because Europeans would tell you that they foreigners. Reference that. But anyway, they want to make feudal claims by creating these bridges and building all these things because they cannot make a claim to the land because it's not theirs to make claim. It is ours. So let's get out of these conversations of these Negro, black, and colored. Yeah, our leaders misled us. Not Malcolm, the Martin Luther Kings and others. You know what I mean? Jesse Jackson and others. And listen, I'm not being emotional about it. I'm not coming at them. I'm not disrespecting them because they did have some contribution. The truth is the truth. That's all I can say. So get back with us. Hit me up. Inbox me. Comment. You feel any type of way, then we see what we can do to dialogue on it. Because this is not about dispute. This is about sharpening each other's skills and going back off information and seeing can we come together with something healthy, productive, effective, and a counter. So with that being said, peace. Love y'all family. And let's keep the ball spinning. Yes.